Hi everybody, Yarn Fairy here, and I'm here to bring you yarn and all kinds of other junk. Wait till you see. But you already know because you were here and you can see. Okay, so I'm going to start with the stupid stuff. I have all these candles and, incense, which it's not helping right now, but it's on. I bought this lovely lighter. It's a Zippo. It's a butterfly. And this I bought when I had been diagnosed with lupus. Here's the problem. It's not butane. So you open it up and there's some cotton stuff in the bottom down there. I bought it on Amazon. I didn't know. You get butane, and these are arthritic hands with the thumbs. You know, the thumbs that don't work anymore. And wind. I've got all the windows open right now. So I'm sitting here trying to pry it open. It doesn't do that. There it is. It's a cigar lighter. I love this thing. Okay. What is this? Scorch. And you can find it on Amazon, I think. I'm pretty sure I buy a lot of my stuff on Amazon. Although just recently I went to Walmart.com and holy cow. Those peanut butter guys, I can't buy them anymore, man. I just can't. I just eat them. I guess that's what you're supposed to do, though, right? We have to get rid of these because they are fresh off the needles. Well, from I don't know how long ago, but Katie made these, and they're usually 8 inches around at the base, but for some reason this is 7, and so it's a really tight fit. I can fit them, but they're 11 inches long. So this is more like a size 10 person, that's a male. If anybody knows anyone with super skinny feet, and I mean skinny because these are, the heels are short rows, so that tightens it up even more across the ankle part of the, so let me know if you're old and moldy. If you have plantar fasciitis, you have something that I call cracked feet. And I've tried everything. I've tried Zim's crack cream. I've tried making the body grease, not grease. It's like a beeswax thing so that it's like a wax that you rub on your feet, and putting them into special socks and everything. Nothing has worked until I found these. My heel is finally soft. I have brand new, beautiful skin on it, and it's pink and soft and lovely, and I'm happy in my shoes again. These are little silicone heels that are especially meant for people with plantar fasciitis and AT, and they help keep your heels. Okay, so when you have the cracks, your shoes hit the crack, and constantly there's friction in the crack, and it makes it worse until you have like this horrible Grand Canyon on your feet, and you don't want that. And they start bleeding, and it's heinous. It's heinous. It's absolutely just heinous. Yes, it's heinous. Anyway, I found these recently because those things, I blow out of them in about 3 days, maybe longer, depending on how much I'm walking right now. Not so much. Anyway, these have the silicone inside of them. So what I do is I put the body butter thing on my foot, which this is just a beeswax base. Anything with a beeswax weight, blah, 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 will work. These things come in pairs. I got 3 pairs off of Amazon. They've held together for a really long time. I don't plan on washing them because that will kill them. But yeah. Oh, look at my shirt. That's the next thing. Look at my shirt. I got my boys, and I got them all light blue, and they're really cool. And Castiel's got these turquoise wings, just like the pattern that I made for him. And then there's baby. Yeah. You can go look up the Chevy socks and Dean behind Michael's eyes or something like that. Behind Blue Eyes, because Blue Eyes was Michael. And Castiel has wings. As a matter of fact, I think Castiel is on my bed because I wear him so much that he is pilled. So we have colors and patterns for the boys, except for Moose. I haven't gotten there yet, but I might be close because I've been working on a yak silk sweater for a really long time because of my hands, right? This is like this horrible heinous gradient, and I'm thinking about dip dyeing it into like turquoise or purple. Anyway, it's for my baby because she's going up to Washington. Southern California girl, born and bred. She's ready to move to freezing wet. So I'm trying to help her. She said that the sleeves are too big, but you have to have Elizabeth's percentage system bottom up. You add the extra in the back, and then you work forever. Then you make the sleeves, and the sleeves have to be the same number of stitches as the front and the back. So I actually stopped about 10 stitches short, and it was still, it's like baggy. So what I'm going to do is use my new ribbon that I just made, not this one because I have to have a lot more, to weave a corset here and here and here, and then it'll all come together and be the right size. Elizabeth Zimmerman, she said, if it doesn't fit you, don't worry, darling. You just give it to someone it does, or make it fit. So yeah, I was making this initially for myself with a shawl collar on it, but that never happened. We have silk ribbon. I'm getting more. I'm getting 1/8, 1/4, 1/2, and 1 inch. I figured that'd be good for embroidery. Anyway, I just started the color work on this thing, and I hate it, and because it's got so many trippy problems, it's just like, it's not working. And then too, you know, I just want to sit there and throw. I can't pick anymore. I had this combo thing. Everybody who saw how I knit said, you're knitting wrong. And I'm just like, how could you knit wrong if you're making a finished object? So I don't listen to people anymore. So don't tell me I knit wrong. My stitches twist on the needle, but then I pick through the front leg and it straightens out and it becomes a beautiful knit stitch. This was what I made for the top. I love it. It's got the little hearts in between the charts. And it's got her Washington furs and these beautiful deer with these curly antlers. Problem is it's 60 rows, and that's 8 inches, and that's what I need for the top. But at 4 inches, I started decreasing for the raglan so that he would either be eaten up. I don't know how I would do this. Yeah, because I start here so that I can have 2 across the front and another one here. I don't know. Maybe there is still a way of doing it. Maybe the hearts would get eaten up in the beginning and then, I don't know. Anyway, I don't like working on it anymore, so it's in timeout right now. Not like I have, you know, all this stuff to do anymore. I used to be able to make a pair of socks in a week. I've been working on this pair of socks, this specific pair of socks. I must have cast these on over a year ago. And I thought they would be my last pair of socks for my husband. This is when I made Glacier Deep, Dark 2, something like that. Anyway, the socks, I always go toe up. So their feet are done, the heels are done, and I've started on the ankles. I need to change over to the size 1s and finish them off in the K2P2 because this is just the perfect sock for actually being able to wear. We do, these are inside out. So normally you'd see a pearl base here. Pearls are for nice, not rice. When you knit a sock like this and you wear it like this with the stockinette side out, you end up feeling like you're walking on a bed of rice. And it's quite uncomfortable. I found that really early on in my knitting. Okay. Oh dear. Will my oxygen reach? I need that pause button thing I saw. I saw a pause button on Amazon. I went to buy a, what's it called? I went to buy a tripod because my tripod's a mess. So, I'm caught. I found there's a little remote control that you can get. And it turns out there's actually an app that you can do pause with. And if you have a regular iPhone, I've got an iTouch, you can touch the numbers up at the top of the screen and it will actually pause for you. Anyway, all that to say, this is what I'm wearing to the wedding. He's got this cute little, yeah, it's adorable. But I don't like to show so much. So I dyed a cotton silk blend in what I call the Beast. And it's gonna look amazing. Look at that. It looks great. I like it. There's some kind of grays I love tubing. Inside of the, it's like a stone washed, and so all these grays are in there. And I'm not sure about the royal blue. And I think I wanted it more saturated because it's cotton and silk. I have to dye it for the silk in its chemicals, and then for the cotton in the different stuff. So we'll see. Who knows what I'm gonna do. So we dyed, right? Yeah, I had my husband out there dyeing with me. While we were at it, we didn't just dye the sheets. We dyed socks. Actually, yeah, we did this together. There was so much dye all over the. Okay, so you saw the last video. This video, we had the stuff out. We put the dye on, then we squinched it, and then we put it into like a plastic bag. Basically, we used pallet wrap and wrapped it all up, stuck it on the further away from us. Then we did the geez, you can't even see it because it's covered in yarn, but the sheets are over here. Anyway, there was much dye still left on the concrete back there, and so I made socks. I made a little doggy shirt, cute, for my little doggy who doesn't like to wear stuff. So if you want this, I think it's $15 or some garbage. A night shirt for winter, now that summer is definitely here. I bought these ages ago, but I've had such a weird year that I haven't been able to do them. Isn't that lovely? Of course, these, you know, I made up more dye for. But the little pieces, I just dumped them. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. Little pieces, I just dumped them in. Whatever was left. I think I did that with this too. These are 2 aprons. But the nice thing about these is, you know, I could go back and throw some more dye on them. I'm not sure I want to. I love purple, blue, and green. So, aside from that, I had bought this stuff. It said that it was good for towels. I kept looking for towels, and I'm not sure why. Oh, by the way, if you're on oxygen, this is great, because as you can see, I'm forever getting tangled in this mess. And when you get tangled, you end up stepping on it and ripping it right out of your face. It's very painful because it's wrapped around your ears and everything, and it's not fun. Alligator clip. The kind with the hole, with a bit of ribbon clipped to your shirt. Now I no longer have to worry about that. And I have to move a little bit faster. We're already at 12 minutes. Takes forever to upload here. So this is the waffle stuff. They sell it saying, oh, this is good for robes and it's good for towels, blah, blah, blah. So I thought I was going to get something nice and thick. It's so thin, it's not funny. But it does have this waffle grid. And it's really weird. Can you see the little waffly things? It's like they're a pyramid of cotton thread. I don't know. Whatever. Me and my rabbit trails that I can go down, or waffle holes that I can fall into. So I made a purple, blue, and green one. And what are these going to be? Baby junk. I figured I can make bibs, mitts, because they're forever, you know, scratching up their faces. Yeah, the towels and junk for babies, because they need to be thinner, you know, so that you can get into the little cracks and crevices, and these are thin and perfectly great for that. Maybe one of those hoodie things, towel thing, and bunting, but since it's Washington, I was thinking of getting some of that minky. I've never touched it, but I have seen it, and it's like a furry thing that you can use for baby's blankets. And I have this idea of the hood of the towel having like a bear on it with the ears and the eyes, and then coming down and getting arms, and then coming down and getting a sack or actual legs that you can stick the baby in, and then it's adorable. Oh my gosh, like any baby's not adorable, right? So, all y'all know, I wish I would have done this better. I can't, you can hear it. I can't move around as good as I used to, so I couldn't set up like I wanted to. But here's the sheet. Let me show you all this stuff before we go further. Isn't it gorgeous? It's still folded in half. These are 3 different colors of navy up here. One is indigo, one is called blue violet, another one is nebula and space, and they're just, my sheets came out amazing. I love them, which is a good thing because I've got to stay in bed all day. Isn't it pretty? And of course, purple, blue, and green are my favorite colors. I seem to have lost my pillowcases. They look an awful lot like everything else I showed, though. They're probably under this mess somewhere. Oh, there they are. His sets come with pillowcases. I bought 2 twin extra longs, sewed up the center, and cut that off so that I could have a nice, of the flat sheet. My COVID test came out negative. That's kind of nice. Even if I have long haul, I don't see how I couldn't have a positive test. Anyway, that's the stuff. I like the stuff. These things were laying like this on the patio, and all the yarn was running off the patio because it's angled, and you can't really tell, but it's sort of, yeah, you can. It's running. See how it ran? Isn't that fun? I never know what's going to happen with stuff. I mean, I know what's going to happen, but I don't know what's going to happen. The next thing I really want to do is take some of these items that are already dyed and stick them into ice. You know, you pack them into the ice, you soak them in the stuff, and then you pack them into the ice, and then you throw dye on, straight dye. And it makes beautiful stuff. I still have a bucket of things out there I want to do. One's a dress, a pair of rayon pants. I didn't want to do those while I was just exhausted and a mess because they take more time, energy, effort, and thought as to what colors. This I knew what I wanted to do. And they're huge, so it wasn't like I could just, you know, whatever. So all y'all know that we're having a sale. We're also evidently destashing. If you want any of these things, just tell me the timestamp. I think I'm going to sell all of the destash, somebody else's yarn, for $15. They're all sock yarn, 400 and something yards. Beautiful, obviously. Ericania? I don't know how to say that. Probably saying it wrong. Fleece Artist. This is Nione. It has mohair in it. So if you're allergic to mohair, you don't want this. Even if you do love it. I love this stuff. That's why I bought it. This is 216. It's 100% merino. Also by Fleece Artist. This is a Pagewood. Very soft. So I'm assuming it's just 100% merino, or no, this is a sock yarn. It's got a nice high twist. Also Pagewood. I believe, yeah, I'm not sure who this is. This might be Cherry Tree Hill. Not sure. Okay. Those are the destash. Now, where's the other one? Oh, these things are so small. I lose them. Especially in a fitted sheet, right? Okay, so we're going to start with this. I usually don't share pattern stuff until, like, I open the MCAL. But Pole Dark has been getting watched and obsessed over, and there's some beautiful things that strike a chord in me, and I can't stand it until I get the pattern out. It's just like obsessive. So I'm like drawing these gloves. Great Aunt Agatha from the Trelawney, is that the right word? Side of the family. Anyway, there's a ruffle in Pixie Paca and this beautiful dark green. I love it. That's one color. And the other color is this. Geez, it looks like raven. It has 2 different colors, and then you paint it black. And it's got the Pixie Paca, and that comes out lighter because it's an unsuperwash yarn. Okay, that's them. And then I have some older yarns that we dyed 15 years ago. I'm not sure. There's extra on this. I'm not sure when is what I'm trying to say. There's 184 yards of this and 325 yards of this, so they are together. These three were dyed so many times. I think they were dyed a multicolor in the first place. This was like, 15 years ago. They were dyed a multicolor. You can see the different variety that are in each of them. Okay, so then we didn't like it, so we dyed them solid, and the solids were heinous. This was like, what is with that word today? This was like mint, and this one was like cat yuck, and this one was like rust. And now they are raspberry and lichen and turquoise. And I love turquoise. You can tell, can you? Anyway, there's those. And then I pulled a bunch of stuff. Oh wait, there's one more. This one was on the sale page as a white with a little bit of turquoise and a little bit of raspberry, and that's all it was. But I've learned how to dye in 15 years. And yeah, okay, so there is 2 buccal, and these are merino. And they're pure wool. They're just beautiful, soft stuff. And they're 100%, and I don't believe they're superwash, but they're not felted. They're just gorgeous. And this is a hand spun. It used to be this heinous little, it's like I have no vocabulary. I mean, I know my brains are shot from the COVID, but still, get a vocabulary. Okay, so then I pulled Slub Monster and Rambo, which is the fat 157 per 100 gram yarn, and I had fun dyeing them. I was thinking that these would be for baby stuff, but if you guys want them, feel free. Full price on these though, because they're brand new. And I can't remember, Slub Monster, he's like got a really tight, small wholesale retail. Yeah, so here's Slub Monster. Called him Slub Monster because he's got all these little, let's see if I can get rid of me. Can you see him? Because I can't see what you're looking at. He's got all these little nubbies. He's a little nub monster. And I haven't been able to knit with him yet, but if you want this, take it. I have more yarn. I can always dye more. And I love to dye. So here are the 2 that go with him. This needs a name. I don't know what it's called. It's brand new. This is the pale iteration of it. This is Shiitake Mushroom. How fun is that name? And, so this is the pale, and then this is the dark. And it needs a name. I don't know. I'm going to put those up on my Facebook page because y'all are great at naming things. So while I was playing with Shiitake, I dyed a bear. To do this, all you have to do is take the dye straight from the container after soaking the yarn in your soak. And then, okay, so one side I painted Shiitake. There it is. This is the side that I painted the Shiitake, and then on the flip side I painted a powder that I make. And you can't even tell because they're so close and similar in color. It's got all these dots of red and blue and yellow, orange. You should be able to find turquoise and hot pink in here. There's the hot pink. But you have to look harder for those because that was a different technique. And there's some of the turquoise. Fun, huh? I like this. So I'm thinking about calling him Shiitake. The kids are here and they were saying beach, because it does look like sand of a beach. Shells. Shiitake. Okay, now I feel like I've got this color, but it might be a little different. I oven dyed for Christmas year before last several colors, and they were done block, which means, just a few inches for each colorway, and then you change to the next all the way around, and it's 3 places that you do this. I'm giving away all my techniques because my CT hasn't come back yet, but it is two sides of the story. ILD, which you die in 3 to 5 years. COPD, which has 4 stages, and you die. And it's not pleasant. Neither one of these. You die drowning. Which is like all my life. Okay, I'm going to start crying. I'm not going to do this. All my life, drowning was like the worst way to go. I wanted to get shot. I wanted to fall asleep in my head, right? So it's perfectly fast. Something fast, you know? Everybody wants something fast. Who wants to die by drowning in 10 or 20 years? Not me. This side, COVID, high-end, long-haul brains shot. Long-haul COVID causes breathing problems. I'm hoping that this is all this is, and in a year it'll go away and I will stop having all this. One can hope. I'm missing, I made Blue Bouquet, and she's missing. What a bummer. Anyway, this is the other side of her. This is the Silk for Cross Stitch. This is Trees in the Dark. We can dye any of our old colors on the cross stitch threads. She'll turn up. Anyway, I have a friend. She loves gray, black, red, and green. So I designed for her the Blue Bouquet fabric is, and it's blue, B-L-O-O, boo, B-O-O-K-K-A-Y. And this is a long dog sampler. It's only like 17 inches, so you can probably do it in your sleep, you know, real fast. So I do it on a fat quarter, but you only need 17 inches, so I basically paint over here. And it's the intentional painting. I paint the whole thing one color, then I pull up that side over here from the center and put it into dye, and it makes this circle. And that's where, okay, so for that one, the dark goes on the outside, and then there's a light skein. And the light skein is, it's not really light, it's crimson, dark charcoal gray, and a green. I want to say I hit it with a dark color and I didn't like it because it was too close to the black. And then I went over it again with a Kelly to make it brighten. I have it over here in my die notes. See this stack? Is like a day's worth of work. I don't know what is holding me back, but for some reason I don't want to spend a day working on die notes right now. Oh, and so the reason why I pulled out my lighter, not sure this is a good thing for me right now. As much as I love it, and I forget that I have it, and it's lavender and it's lovely, I forget that I have them, and so I've had these things for probably a good 10 years. And yeah, I just didn't do it. And Kevin has breathing stuff too, so now that I have oxygen stuff, these all may have to go. Okay, I think I'm done. So, my reading. Lately at night I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping. When I wake up in the middle of the night, I found that if I go online and do anything or watch Netflix or whatever, it has a tendency to keep me awake longer than reading does. Reading puts me out. I've been trying to get through Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyers for a year. And then I watched The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks. I watched on TV, and they left it hanging, and I'm not sure how far they got, but I remembered having this book on my, not this one, but because it had like a dwarf and a sword and a boy and somebody else on it. And I was always enthralled by it, and I always wanted to get into it, but I never could. And I ended up getting rid of all my books when I got married in '94. So now I bought this again to try to read it. Hang on. As well as The First King and Zion's. And this is just the sword. I believe it's 3 books though, isn't it? I hope those other books aren't in here. You know, it's going to be so hard. Oh, hey. Sword of Shannara, Elfstones, Wish Song of Shannara. So I've got lots. and lots of reading. And then where was I? In some movie or book, and they recommended this, that the girl inside of there was reading it. A tale of love, money, and family conflict among dragons. They're not people, they're dragons. So the story is around this dragon family, which is awesome! How awesome is that? So yeah, when I'm not doing that, when I'm depressed and you don't see me anywhere, I'm watching Dark Shadows, my coffin. Literally a coffin with Barnabas on the outside of the edge of the DVDs. I just love that they do that. I don't even die when I'm depressed. But fortunately, I don't get depressed much. And so we have production. Let me know if you want any of these goodies. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns, or comments. As Pixie number 1 used to say, hit the bell with the scribe, which just means subscribe, like, and hit the alarm bell so that you get notified when I have a new podcast. She's not here. It's really weird because it used to be even Yarn Fairy and Pixie number 1. She'd say it, and then we'd say Yarn. And now it's like pulling teeth to get him. My husband was deemed to be Lord Oberon, and I'm Queen Titania of the Fae. And yeah, the kids gave us, not the kids, but our peeps gave us his name, and he's like hesitant. He doesn't want it because I guess it's got the word Lord in it. Oh, and by the way, turns out petroleum jelly and oxygen are a bad thing. Every night I put some sort of antibiotic cream in the eye because it's got a couple of diseases, and I have to do this for the rest of my life. So I'm wondering, maybe I should draw a picture on it. Maybe I should get a tattoo on it. Cherries, cherry tree. I don't know. I don't even think you can tattoo a face. That's like where all your nerves are. Okay, now I'm rambling. This is what I meant by beeswax. This is Bee Bar, and it's called Body Lotion Bar. And I fill it with my own stuff that I make. I just shove my heel in there and rub, and we're good to go. Okay. I'm rambling. This is why it's called Wendy's Ramblings. You signed up. I always feel so much better when I talk to you guys. God bless.